And your Scottish government is complicit in this because they're allowing it to have. They have no empathy for your sons and daughters. They don't care. They've even involved themselves in a child investigation. 3 times judges have stepped down. The 4th time, the inquiry's running don't blind just now, so we don't know what the script is. But it's been admitted in the inquiry that satanic abuse is taking place with sons and daughters in care. Sons and daughters have gone missing in care as well, people. People need to waken up. And I would just like to thank the people here today for turning up and support the people of Scotland and support the people of
Yes!
This is what community spirit's all about. This is the people coming together. This is the people awakening. And this is what has to happen, but it has to happen on a larger scale. Now, regarding the law, what is the law? You have 2 systems. You have legal, you have lawful. What is the difference? Lawful relates to man or woman. Legal relates to person. And this is where the illusion is over every man, woman, son and daughter. In Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales and worldwide, it's a massive constructive fraud against the people all over the world. And it has to stop, it has to change. And the only way we can do that is for the people to waken up, open their ears and open their minds. Do not listen to the television. Do not listen to the media, read the newspapers or the radio. They're all part of the constructive fraud against every man, woman, son and daughter. Now, the status person, if you look at every statute of legislation, no matter what one, Road Traffic Act, etc., etc., it states the word person. And the reason it states the word person is because the system cannot deal with a living man or a living woman. And I verify that here today in private capacity under full liability. And I have first-hand knowledge in everything I state. There is no misinformation. There is no diversion of the truth. It's a fact. And it's a costly fact for families today. Now, I'm going to address one thing right here. When your son or daughter gets taken into care, the illusion is the birth certificate. It's a fraud against every man, woman, son and daughter. Constructive fraud, criminal conversion and identity theft is taking place. And that's a fact. And I can verify that. When your son and daughter is taken into care, the state, the employees, the council, the courts, social workers, panel members, children's boards become the corporate parent, and this is what people don't know. When your son or daughter is taken into care, you're losing your rights to a fraud known as legal system, legal society. A lot of people are blind to this because they're getting lied to with their employers and everything else. It's wrong what's happening, and the people have to wake it up. We have to protect the sons and daughters because they're the next generation of families. We can't allow them to be abused, raped, murdered in traffic.
No!
4 corners in Glasgow. The 4 corners in Glasgow, that's where it's happening. It's happening in Govan Hill. Nicola Sturgeon's talking about every politician in the Scottish Parliament is complicit against threats of harm, trespassed against every man, woman, son and daughter. We have a legal system, a legal society, with fictitious offices and fictitious corporate names and think they're above the law. Well, common law is a law of the land, and that's a fact. Legal is not a law. It's rules, regulations and policies. And I verify that in private capacity under full liability. And I've called Nicola Sturgeon here umpteen time with any other politician to face a man.
You bet.
And I'll show you how much. Now people, it's great to see the people here. I'm really excited. I'm really full of energy. And I love what I see. Trespass property. An inalienable and inherent rights is yours. You do not have duties, obligations and responsibilities to a legal system or legal society. Property. What is property? Property under common law is your son, your skin, your eyes, your hair, your legs, your arms, your hands. Your rights is your property, inalienable and inherent right. And that's a fact. And these rights cannot be taken away by any other man or woman. Legal society. Now, public services. We have no public services. We have deprivation and poverty. We have people waiting for life-threatening treatment to keep them alive. We have sons and daughters being abused. We have businesses losing their business and jobs losing. People are struggling to feed their sons and daughters. We have food banks that shouldn't be there because people have the right to food and we shouldn't be begging. We're no beggars. We're the creditors, not the debtors. It's bad what's happening, and the sooner people open their minds and start thinking, self-think, be diligent. What I tell you here today, people, I'm verifying in private capacity under full liability. And I challenge anybody for the legal system, legal side, if anybody's here to come forward, call a man a liar, and I'll destroy you in front of the public and show you that you're The thing is, well, people, your Scottish Parliament, the politicians, every politician in the Scottish Parliament, the Parliament building, Westminster, the House of Commons, the House of Lords, everything is registered as corporations. Embezzlement under common law is happening here, people. They're stealing your services. There is no full disclosure. And they're committing crimes, they're committing a tort, because everything belongs to the people. We the people pay for everything. Not them. The government have no money. Boris Johnson, a couple of months ago, was 277 trillion in debt. Now, all the people here beyond are going to be taxed. National insurance and everything's going to be handled because you, as a person, this one person, get out of your head. You're a man or you're a woman. You're a living, breathing fact, and that is the real world, people. Now, we the creditors don't owe a debt. The corporations. The true fact of the matter is, he who creates owns. Nicola Sturgeon owns a mega debt in Scotland because it's all corporations that own the debt, not the people. How can the people owe the debt when the people are paying into the system? We do not owe a debt, and the sooner you realise this, the better. And the sooner you pay attention to what I'm telling you, the better. Be diligent. Start challenging everything. Anything with the all capital name is not your name. It's a legal fiction known as person. The council tax, all capital name. The driving licence, all capital name. HMRC, all capital name. They're committing constructive fraud and identity theft. And I proved this 2 weeks ago at the Glasgow Sheriff Court when I had a set two-way, a judge called Ian Fleming. He tried to bully a man in a legislative hearing, and I didn't have, because I know who I am and what I am.
Here.
I'm a man, living, breathing fact.
Here.
And everybody, and I think for myself, exactly, and that's what everybody has to do. Have to think for yourself. Now people, I'm going to put you on a man ball, and we'll get some speakers here. Save the Children was to be here today, but I don't know what's happened, and I'm disappointed because I feel that they've let the people down, because the people have came here with their energy, and they wanted to see what was happening.
What are you pointing at me for?
I don't point.
Just elbows.
So I'm really disappointed because I feel a bit let down because they should be here to support us.
They'll be
here.
here.
The people support us.
They'll be here.
She'll
be here. They'll be here.
To do it, and then we can get this sorted with Save the Children. But I'm going to put you on in a man, Paul. Paul!
Yes! On yourself, Paul!
Glasgow!
On you go, Paul!
How you feeling? Good?
Yeah!
All standing up, fantastic to see. My name, as Robert said, is Paul.
Yeah.
I'm a free-born man. I live under natural law. I adhere to common law, which is the practical application of natural law. I was born a free man, and I will die a free man.
Yes!
I do not subject myself to corrupt tyranny in any circumstances. Now I want to give a couple of acknowledgements before we start. First two, Save Our Children, at least Di's here, I think Di's here somewhere.
Whoa! Yes!
Di will be speaking later, no doubt, because she does love the sound of her own voice.
They're here! Yes!
27,000 children disappeared in Scotland between the years 2017 and 2019. 8 million children disappeared globally in the year 2019. The abduction, trafficking, abuse and murder of children is now, in terms of revenue, the biggest criminal activity in the world. And that is a large part of why we are to stand up to and then dismantle all these corrupt services and institutions.
Yes!
Particularly those decision-maker politicians who turn a blind eye when they should be acting, and are basically now, they've been corrupted to the core. Simple as that. So 27,000 children in 3 years equates to roughly 25 children a day. Disappeared.
What the Frankfurt?
I don't know, brother. I don't know. But it's rank, innit? There's something very, very corrupt at the heart of our society. No media coverage, or in fact the media coverage is used to deny the issue. No politician takes this on board and makes public proclamations or pledges, with the one exception last week of Paddy Hogg, who will run for Parliament apparently. So
Yay!
he's the only man that I know, and I may be wrong, has publicly stated that he will launch a child abuse inquiry, a full inquiry.
Whoa!
25 children a day disappearing.
I didn't mean it like that now.
Now, I don't know if you saw this
I
week,
always get
mostly down south, admittedly,
I always get tell issues.
males, I won't use the term men, but males, complaining, up in arms, crying, chanting, because of the formation of a super, whooper, duper, duper football league. Now, if they can sort of display that energy for something basically that's still a lad's game, and still, apologies to any football fans, I used to play myself, I'm rugby, but does that not compare in comparison to the fact that you, as a man, are not standing up for the rights and health and safety of the community's children?
Here,
Where are
here!
you? Where are you? Disgrace. Now, we have two major political parties apparently, but this is information in the public domain, as with those figures. Those figures were a response to freedom of information requests. So it's not coming from Paul at tinfoilhat.com.
I'm taking the blame.
This is data, government data, easily checked, easily verified. Two major parties, SNP and the new Iron Brew, was it old Iron Brew in new bottles, the Alba Party. Now, both of those parties have been in discussions with certain community groups, but that's a euphemism, saying that they're looking at the possibility of lowering the age of consent to 10 years old. I couldn't compute that fact either.
For Iron Brew.
Yeah, Iron Brew,
Really?
sorry, so I can't pronounce it properly.
Really?
No,
Really?
no, I'm joking. So anyway, 10 years old is now seen to be a legitimate expression of adolescent sexuality, which means potentially a middle-aged man can have sex with a 10-year-old girl or a 10-year-old boy. Now this is seriously on the table for discussion. Now, why would anybody want to give their mark, their vote, to people who prepare to countenance such evil? Because it is evil. I never used to talk in biblical terms until 2020 came along, and now I can't stop speaking in biblical terms, because this is a spiritual battle between good and evil, and we to get on their feet and stand up and speak out are on the side of good, obviously. So that's the children. Where are the men? 25 kids a day. Now I'm going to go to the genetically modifying toxic substances that are being put out by Pfizer and AstraZeneca and J&J, whatever. I'm not going to call them a vaccine because they don't serve that purpose at all, that's clear. Now if you go to, again, the government website, the NHRA Yellow Card Scheme, which is the government's health regulatory body, up to this point there are already something like 700,000 adverse reactions. These include things like stroke, paralysis, blindness, deafness, spontaneous abortions and death. Now they reckon basically, and again this is something the government has looked to themselves in terms of the efficacy of the system, that only 10% of serious adverse reactions and 2% of minor adverse reactions get reported. So we got 700,000. Now for all mathematicians out there, I would say the real figures are obviously going to run into millions. So we can ask ourselves, why are they pushing so hard for something that is obviously bad for so many people's health, up to and including them dying? These are just facts, these are just figures, not conjecture. Now myself and many others, from May last year, which to me to the green over that way, the end of the square, have been talking about a depopulation agenda for many, many months. And the fact is, those chickens are now coming home to roost. People chose not to listen, which is their prerogative, because we are all sovereign beings, as Robert will tell you clearly, and we are. So they're making choice, but they're not making informed choice. So what they need to do, and if you know anybody who's counselling the idea of taking those toxic substances, please direct them to that website, Yellow Card, MHRA. Now in terms of the, I'll single one adverse reaction, spontaneous miscarriages. Now two preeminent scientists, doctors, a German guy, Wolfgang Vordag, and an English guy, the ex-Pfizer chief medical officer, a guy called Michael Yeadon, have said there has been a spike. And that the reason for this is that those toxic substances contain elements which then, with time, cause the immunity system to attack what would be the formation of placental cells. So, in a layperson's sense, what that means is that they cannot carry the baby to full term, thus the miscarriages. So that's food for thought when we've been talking about the depopulation agenda for at least a year and beyond. Now, like I said, I stand on the common law in the mundane sense, and in the spiritual sense, I stand on the natural, divine law. This is just who we are. I want to give props to Robert, my comrade, and he's educated me massively with regards to common law as a system and as a remedy. And if we're going to break the shackles of this tyranny, that's exactly the way we need to go. There's free men and free women under common law, because that is a reflection of our true natures. Truth does not need to wear any disguise. Truth is truth. It's an absolute. There's no such thing as subjective truth. Truth is truth. So, like I said, I believe this is a psychological or spiritual war. I also believe that we're winning that war, and that we will win that war. Who make the effort to get off their backside and celebrate with us, their sisters and brothers in Glasgow. Okay? Now if you just indulge me for 1 minute, I'm going to go towards the spiritual side to finish because I think that is our most powerful asset, our most powerful weapon, if you like.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
all sons and daughters of the light. So if you bear with me for a second, I just want to read something out. Like what you know, it's in does not help. So this is my personal declaration, and hopefully it resonates with hopefully all of you. We are all men and women of the law. The natural law, the divine law, the common law is both our birthright and our responsibility. We carry it with us every day of our lives. We are free men and free women. We do not live in fear. We do not comply with tyranny and corruption. We will not be bullied and we will not be silenced. We stand up and we live our birthright freedoms. This, our beautiful Mother Earth, is ours to respect and protect. We are His children and His guardians. I'll say that again because the mind went. We are His children and His guardians. So I say this to you, my strong-hearted brothers and sisters who stand in the truth of their sovereign beings. The spell is broken. The dark is vanquished. We are the light, and the light prevails.